Hello, this is my next video on thinking outside the broken box. The first video I made, a emergency solar power generator. I put that on YouTube. And I put details of its construction on firstontop.com. Just click on the broken box link and you can see details how that was put together. On this video, I will show you what I would use for hunting small game if I was in a situation where I could not find food, get to a supermarket or stores, or the whole system completely broken down. Now you must understand, hunting is illegal in most city areas. You need license, you need training, things of that nature. But this is totally in an emergency situation where storms, economic breakdown, or whatever, and you're stuck in a city, but you need to eat. Just think what would happen if most people could not find food, especially in a city. Things could get very ugly very fast. I'm not going to talk about what people could do to you if they know you have food. Common sense will tell you that. What I will show you is what I would do and how I would hunt for food in a very quiet way so that people would not see me acquiring food. If you used to use a gun to hunt for food, I feel a gun would let people know, hey, this person may have food as well as a weapon for survival. They either want your food or your weapon, especially when things get very ugly. And I don't need to tell you what could happen if a mob of very hungry people know that you have food. So what I will show you is some of the survival gear that I would use to hunt in a very, very quiet way, so I would not let a mob know that I have food or acquiring food. Like I said, this is strictly an emergency situation. Example, crossbows. Very quiet, just like a gun, very easy to learn. A pellet gun, also very quiet, can take down small game without making a lot of noise. A longbow, an example. This one is roughly a 25-pound pull. I use a string, a very strong string, to set this one up. And believe me, 25-pound pull bow will take down game. It's a 60-pound. It also has the appropriate string on it. And 60 pounds can take down pretty decent sized game. This crossbow, I actually made this prod. It's roughly a 40-pound pull. And it may not seem much, but a 40-pound pull is easy to pull back. Once again, improvise using a strong string from a shoe or a boot to make this crossbow functioning. On the other hand, this crossbow is a professional one and roughly 150-pound pull. That can take down just about anything. And like I said, for urban survival, rabbits, squirrels, birds, even deer, been known to be in the city. The next thing I have is a reel, a fishing reel. Just the reel itself. With that, you can pull the string out, tie your hook on it, put a bobbin on it, throw it in the water, and actually take the reel in one hand and reel in, because you really don't want to have too many things that are bogging you down. The next tools that I would have is something to see at a distance. You know, binoculars, or something small so I can at least see game, to creep up on it, etc., etc. And at night, a very small LED flashlight. Another thing, after you acquire game, you need to figure out a way of starting fires. A magnifying glass in the daytime, if it's bright, and of course a magnesium fire starter would also be an appropriate tool to have. Now you can go to YouTube or any other site to get detailed information, but these are the tools that I would use. Now as far as knives go, you got a variety of knives. You got a pocket knife you can carry, even push come to shove, you can get something like that you can find in a tool case. Sharpened edge, it can still skin an animal. Or you can go to hunting knives, cheap varieties, or even more exotic hunting knives. I know knives come in different qualities from carbon steel, etc., but any knife is appropriate. Another tool I found very useful is a decent slingshot. Very quiet and also capable of taking game. Now I want to spend a couple of moments on why I prefer a crossbow. Like I said, crossbows are fairly easy to shoot. Instinctively, they're like a gun. Also, thing about a crossbow, the arrows, or bolt as they're known, can be easily made. Bolts are usually shorter than arrows, a little thicker, but if you notice, I have a dowel. Believe it or not, that can be converted into a crossbow bolt by cutting it, even at an extreme, using duct tape for what they call the fletching. The end you can actually grind on a rock to a point, and it's capable of taking down small game. So for that reason, a crossbow is a highly desirable tool for urban survival. Next to that would be a pellet gun, slingshot, and of course a bow. Bows take quite a bit of time to learn. The key to urban survival and tool usage is to learn about the tools that you would need to survive. They're very dangerous. So if you don't know how to use them, they're not going to do you any good, or they may actually cause you harm. So while things are good and the economy is fine and the system did not break down and we don't have storms, it's best to prepare, or be prepared, as Boy Scouts would say, for emergency situations, one way or another, storing food, etc., etc. And on that, this is the conclusion of this video on acquiring food.